I was standing in the driveway and I was looking at my car and I had $140 to my name. And my unemployment was cut off, so I had no money. I had really nothing to carry on and go anywhere. And I was, trying to pay off these bills, and they were just pointless. It was just pointless at that point. And I just kind of threw my hands in the air and I looked at my car, and this sudden rush of horror just went through my whole body. And then I started laughing. It was those feelings when I knew I was going to end up living in my car. And I got sick to my stomach, actually. It was a really frightening thing.
When I realized that I was served with, the papers, and knowing that this was the last night that I was going to be here, I didn't realize where I was going to go, what me and my children were going to do.
The first few days were the first few months were terrible. I just, you're just scared. You're trying to hide. You're dealing with shame. Your pride's just been destroyed. It's so dehumanizing. You can't believe it yourself.
Being homeless is probably the most hopeless I've ever felt in my life. Because, laying there in my car, backseat of my car with my clothes basically covering me for blankets, I realized that this is no way for anybody to live.
I had, your normal, typical, everyday home. I mean, it had 4 bedrooms and it had 2 bathrooms. I didn't do too bad for a single mom. I worked really hard. I was a teacher at the time in the Albuquerque public schools, and I worked in classrooms with behaviorally different kids, and I liked it.
By the time I was reaching almost 40, life was pretty much where I expected it to be and wanted it to be. I'd have, good job. I was in a city that I loved. A house, the maintenance of the house, the dogs, the lifestyle, the friends.
Really had a loving family that just wanted the best for me. I grew up loving sports. Through track, I was a high jumper, and overall, I was probably one of the shorter guys, but jumping the highest on our team.
10 years ago, I had a house, 4 trucks, 4 or 5 guys working for me. I enjoy plumbing. When you do something for 32 years, I can basically do it blindfolded now. It's crazy how one stumble and it seems like you're on the street. It seemed like it just overnight.
I grew up in Chicago, graduated high school, then was evicted from my home that I grew up in for 13 years the day after graduating high school. So the homelessness part started at an early age.
Started getting into other things such as drinking, started going to parties. It kind of gave me a rush.
I would go shopping and see a purse or a blouse or a pair of shoes or something that I really, really like. And the money that I have is really, for my electric bill or water bill or, whatever. And my conscience would be like, I really want that purse, but I have to pay my electric bill or we'll be without electricity. I made a bad decision to go and buy the purse instead of paying my electric bill.
I wasn't really that serious about it. It was more of just like, okay, maybe this is getting out of hand a little bit, but I still got it under control. And I ended up getting into a treatment center for the first time at the age of 19. It was just the beginning of the next 8 years of really just destruction.
I became traumatized at my workplace over a series of events, from workplace harassment and bullying to the point that it created such anxiety that was paralyzing. And my job is saying, something's wrong with you. You're not who we hired. You're not yourself. While we're concerned about you, but you need to go take some time off. My life was slipping, and I knew it was, and I became more fearful to the point I couldn't even leave the house.
Everything went great until the recession hit, and then you start losing stuff.
Well, the economy kind of tanked, and my teaching position was cut way back. And so I ended up struggling to hang on to my house and to, do I rent it out? Do I hang on?
The next thing you do is you lose your car and you lose your credit.
I was able to get unemployment, but it wasn't enough. And I stayed with friends here and there. In the middle of all that, I got really sick for the first time. That created a real difficulty for me.
The next thing you know, you're on the street. Everything I got, I can carry with me.
I can understand why homelessness would cause someone to totally spiral downward.
I kept trying to get a grip on what was happening in my life, and the support system that I had. Everybody, there was an abandonment all in just in a few months. So there wasn't a support system. And I just found myself completely alone.
I was calling everybody I could that I knew that might talk to me, and just